Jeffrey Epstein's victims have long said they believe they were being filmed by the sex offender. And this footage from a spycam style camera inside Epstein's Palm Beach house appears to show just that. The footage has been obtained for the first time by Channel 4 News. Because the quality is so grainy, during our investigation we analysed it frame by frame, and we've slowed it down here so that you can see what's happening. A man, likely Epstein himself, at one point looks towards the hidden device.
This is gonna get so much worse. In the past 24 hours, PAM BONDI spoke in American Congress about her approach to the Epstein scenario. And it didn't go down very well. It's caused a huge drop in confidence again in government in the US. It's meant it's all over the headlines again, and that means the Channel 4 put out this very damaging, the most damaging documentary I have seen on the Epstein case so far. In this documentary, they explain about all of Epstein's hidden cameras and the fact that so far we've only seen one of these videos. Only one is known to the public. And it's a video of Epstein doing something bad. That's the only thing that is known to the public about Epstein's secret hidden camera network. Problem being, if Bill Gates has been to his house, if Bill Clinton's been to his house, if Donald Trump's been to his house, if Howard Lutnick has been to his house, all these people have been to this man's house. And he's got cameras in his bathrooms, he's got cameras in his offices, he's got cameras in his bedrooms. And all of this relates to crypto. How? Well, the problem is, when your government is the one that's touting crypto as the saviour, is also the same people that's out there getting filmed doing naughty things on cameras and then not wanting to publish those things to the public for obvious reasons, we have a problem, a very significant financial problem, because all of these people will get justice. Justice will happen. And when there is justice for Epstein and everything to do with the Epstein stuff, and it'll take years, it'll drag itself out, it'll be so damaging to the markets that, is Bitcoin an inflation hedge at the moment? No, Bitcoin's not an inflation hedge at the moment. Is Bitcoin any kind of store of value at the moment? Well, no, because it's not storing any value, is it? It just keeps going down. So what is the point of Bitcoin right now? Well, there isn't one. And that's what makes me excited about this market as well. So we're in an interesting spot where I'm pretty pleased. Market's down, everything's going bad, but we've seen never this amount of opportunity for years in crypto. Absolutely years it's been since we've seen this amount of opportunity. I just flew to Australia as well. I just want to point that out. I'm in Australia now. I'm in a hotel. And I'm here for a couple of days, so I've got so much stuff to show you in this video. Drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new. My name's Jordan, I make videos on the internet about crypto every single day, and I love it when people watch them, because as it's been for the past few years, I get like 1,000, 2,000 views a video. One day we'll crack 1 million, but one day. Anyway, slap a like, subscribe, and let's crack on with the first piece of information in this video being about this man here, Republican Massey, confronting PAM BONDI about their reactions in the Epstein files. And I will explain in this video how this relates to the market, but it's very important that you see this.
To my right is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact, or sorry, a list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name. And you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there.
Now, PAM BONDI's response to this was not one of, oh, sorry, I did a bad job, I didn't mean to do that. No, it was, fuck off you, knobhead, and no, I can't say that. Instead, it was one of, no, don't say anything, just stop talking, ignore the problem, everything is fine. That's always been PAM's response. And the problem is, when your government doesn't acknowledge the problem and doesn't acknowledge what has been going on, you can't have confidence in them. And when their government currency is not based on anything other than confidence, if currency loses its value, everything goes up in price. It causes super inflation. Anyway, we're getting into so many different kind of niche economic scenarios that could arise as part of this whole Epstein scenario, but there's more. So let me show you more, because it wasn't just this man the other day that had a go at that woman.
Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures, but you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald
that,
Trump.
though?
I want to move on to another
Can I
question.
answer your question about protecting
You
Prince
answered the
Andrew?
question.
You're saying no. I love this.
I want to discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files.
Now, the current government, again, says that they're the ones that's releasing this information. And that's true. They are releasing this information, redacted and everything like that, but it's slowly making its way out. We've seen 3 million documents so far. There's still another 30 million to go, but we're getting somewhere. But as this man rightly says, this woman has the power to hold people to account and prosecute. She spent a whole career as a prosecutor fighting for victims, and yet suddenly victims don't matter anymore, and instead it's time to bury your tongue deeply into the president's butt. That's what she likes. That's Pam. Pammy. And Pam had another amazing moment the other day in this testimony in Congress. But this is the last one I'm going to show you today, I promise.
This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history, and none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over, the Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000.
Yes, that's right, guys. Don't forget the Attorney General, the person that's in charge of law in the USA, is celebrating the rise of the Dow, and because pedophiles don't matter anymore. So crack on, everybody. We know the rules, and like Bevo. We're also confident in the market. That's why everyone's in extreme fear right now, being at 9. This is just funny, isn't it? We're just in this market where we're literally reliant on pedos to run the world. And these pedos, we don't trust them, so we start dumping our assets. Now, our assets are actually, in this scenario, pretty safe for the long term. I don't worry about Bitcoin one bit. Bitcoin's going to be around forever. Bitcoin will be $1 million a coin. It's just the case of what's the value of $1 when Bitcoin's at $1 million. Is $1 even worth anything? Because the whole government's run by pedos, and if it all falls apart and the government implodes, like, honestly, people underestimate how well propped up the dollar is. It's not actually well propped up at all, and it's only propped up by liquidity. But say that China was to go and make a bunch of good business relationships with Western countries and start replacing the dollar with the yen, you're quickly going to see the dollar diminish into nothing, and you're going to see some massive problems. And as I fly around the world, I want to point something out as well. I'm in Perth in Australia right now. And being that I'm staying in Perth in Australia, I've never been here before, and it's pretty interesting for me to see. You can see down here, there's like some like water and then some buildings and stuff like that over there. But walking around this city so far, what I've found is it's very, very similar to America. It's very, very similar to England. It shares many similar characteristics of both, including the homelessness and the problems in society. They also seem here, which you don't see in Thailand. It's really strange, but yeah, you can see the effect that bad governance, because again, the Australian government are no better, they're terrible, they're all corrupt. If you've not heard about New South Wales Gambling Commission, they're terrible. Look up Friendly Geordies, they burned his house down. Anyway, back to the charts. I want to show you what is actually going on in the market today, and not just waffle about Pam Bondi and her crazy ideas. And we want to talk about this. This, of course, meaning the price of Bitcoin, which is now $66,942. And it has been in an uptrend this morning. And I can tell you very simply, if we break through, which we probably won't do, $67,200, which is there. If we break through $67,200, everything will be fine and we will go back up to $75,000. Where more likely than that is we come back down and we retest $59,000 down here, retesting the bottom of that range. That lines up with what you would expect from the VRVP, if I am not mistaken. Now, if we go over to the daily chart, you can see here, that is the peak range of liquidity in this range. range. You can also see lower down there is another peak range of liquidity sitting at about $63,000. Being that we're currently 67,100, is it more likely we go up or down? I would probably make the case still to be down. I don't have a huge amount of confidence, but saying that, we can only play breakouts in this market, so it really doesn't matter what my opinion on things is. And literally, we are just relying on a break of that level of resistance on Bitcoin of approximately $67,000. When it comes to Ethereum, very similar things. Like, these charts do look like they might have a bounce in the coming days, just because they are really, really down bad. This is down horrendously. If we look at gold, I mean, we're not going to look at gold today, but something I actually do want to bring up to you is in pre-market. Oh, that's changed. In pre-market, all of these stocks were down really bad. Even Tesla was down pretty bad. Yeah, Tesla's down in pre-market. You can see there, Tesla's down in pre-market. It's down $2. It's not significant. Apple was down significantly, and now it's up in pre-market, so I don't know what's going on there. But clearly something's happening in the market, because the Bitcoin's price is rising a little bit more aggressively as well at this moment in time. So, what do I think is going to go on? I think we've got more sideways and funness to come. Maybe a small break to the upside, but generally sideways and downwards is my expectation still of the market, until they actually catch some of these annoying pedophiles that run the world. Now, of course, if you are interested in trading, check out the links in the video description. But on that note, guys, that is it for today's video. So if you wouldn't mind, drop a like on it. I'd really appreciate that. I'm going to try and get outside tomorrow, go show you some koalas and some kangaroos. And yeah, subscribe. I'm in Australia. Have a nice day, everybody. Don't get touched by pedos. Bye.